become the first team in BBL history to win the BBL Cup 3 years in a row.
In the UK, around 220,000 people play basketball every week. This makes basketball the fourth most popular sport in the UK. However, it still isn't seen as an equivalent to other sports such as football and rugby. Within this documentary, I will speak to experts in British basketball for their personal opinions on the matter and what needs to be done in future years to excel the sport and get more people involved. Also in this documentary, I will be talking about my own experiences in basketball and what I think personally needs to be done to grow the sport in this country. In the year 2000, the Newcastle Eagles announced a programme called Hoops for Health. This programme meant that Eagles players would visit local schools in Newcastle and Gateshead and they would talk about how basketball is a good way to keep fit. When I was younger, I was also part of this programme and this is what got me involved in basketball. The programme began with players visiting schools and talking about how to stay fit.
Do you want to be as big as I am? Do you want to be as strong as I am? Do you want to be fabulous like I am?
Then children from schools would compete in regional tournaments and then a tournament final where they would play in front of thousands at half-time at Northumbria University's Sports Central. This meant the sport was growing massively and crowds were getting bigger by the week, ultimately growing the sport around the country. I will now speak to two experts in the sport, one that runs a talk show on Instagram called Everything Chris, where he interviews BBL players, and I will also be talking to BBL player Josh Chubb, who plays for the Sheffield Sharks.
I am Chris G, or Chris G the host, or Gusto, some may call me that as well. I'm the founder of Everything Chris and creator of this platform that I've created mainly for basketball players, also for other avenues, but mainly basketball players. It's something that I'm passionate about because I'm passionate about this country, understanding and knowing that there is basketball here and also there's a professional team here, and also it's getting you guys to know who the players are. I like to call myself someone who's shedding light on the culture. So I wouldn't say I'm the main voice. I'm one of the voices for this sport. I first learned about basketball in the UK, if I can remember, I said about 8 years old, and started playing around 10 years old. So I knew about it at 8 years old, but I got more deeper into it at the age of 10 years old. The times when Alton Bird, Joel Moore was big in the game at the time. You had Steve Bucknell, Carl Brown. So that was my era, learning basketball in the UK and also learning about basketball in general as well. And also that's when I discovered Brixton Top Cats. Show you the Brixton. Discovered Brixton Top Cats. And Jimmy Rogers, one of the pioneers of basketball in this country, with the amazing development he's done for UK basketball. It's been immense. The fact that he's had at least 8 players who played for Great Britain on that Great Britain team is amazing.
So I was first involved in British basketball when I was in secondary school, at a school called High Stores, and I was in year 7 or 8, and then I joined the junior Sheffield Sharks to play for the under 13 teams. That was around 2014 when the assistant coach of the Sharks came to our school to do some after school training sessions.
Definitely what needs to be done, a lot more effective marketing. Like, basketball is the second most participated sport in this country. It should be a lot more marketing behind it. I think there should be a lot more focus on not just the team, focus on the players. Focus on the players who play for the team. Also, get some more insight on the team. I just think, with what I'm doing, is something that's needed, and I think, interacting with the players, fans want to see that,
I think to grow the sport of basketball in the UK, there could be some more television exposure. Like with football, they have it on BBC One, they have Match of the Day, like the highlights of it, and there is more basketball being put on live, like on YouTube with BBL, but I think maybe even highlight videos that are on mainstream TV could really help boost the sport of basketball in the UK.
Definitely, Newcastle and Leicester, what they're doing is amazing. You know what I mean? It's only right that a professional team should have their own venue. You know, it's only right, because it's like, on a professional level, the athletes and the basketball players should have 100% access to that facility for whenever they want to train. So it does help a lot for that Leicester and Newcastle have their own facilities, and I think it's definitely the step in the right direction. You know, instead of renting out a leisure centre and, you know, you're having to split the time with other team members and other sports or other, you know, whatever academies that are going on in there. Have your own facility where it's yours and yours only, and it's for the players, and the players can have the 100% access to the facilities to train whenever they feel like training. So yeah,
I think Newcastle and Leicester getting their own stadium is a huge boost for British basketball. It means they can have things like a shop, food stalls, bigger capacity, the junior teams can use it, all those things that if you had like a sports hall that you couldn't really do, or you couldn't do on a bigger scale of them. So I think it's like a huge step in the right direction. Since I've been in Sheffield, basketball has definitely grown, even this past year. On our team we've got Mike Tuck, who was the captain of England at the Commonwealth Games for basketball 2018 in Australia. So having him on the team is huge in terms of people coming to watch him. This year we had Bennett and Connor, who both played Division 1 in America. So having them in our team means more fans come to the games.
Now, through them interviews, you can definitely see that British basketball is on the rise. However, with the problems we are facing today, the sport may never be the same again. However, a lot of people like myself have been doing Zoom workouts with professional coaches. If lots of different people are doing this may mean that the sport still stays popular, as there's been a lot of professional players doing online workouts on Instagram lives and Facebook lives to keep people involved in the sport. Also, a lot of older people do enjoy coming to games, and without them being there, this may be a lot of reduced funding for clubs. I will again speak to my interviewees on how they think COVID-19 will affect British basketball.
they continue with this, and then, you know, if they continue with this social distancing stuff, in that sense, it will have an effect, because then it's going to put in people's minds that they're going to be worried about being in the crowd and getting this virus. But if it gets to a point where this is all cleared up, you know, the lockdowns help to reduce this risk and everything, then I think after a while, over time, people will get back to going to doing normal things. People love to do with this sport is socialize and network. So I think in the long run, it's gonna be. I reckon it should hopefully calm down, and everyone can just get back to normal and then enjoy basketball again.
So I think the pandemic will have a huge impact on British basketball, especially in the BBL when they've got bigger crowds. People might have to be 2 meters apart. Elderly people might not want to come to the games because they're more at risk, especially people like over 65s, over 75s. The games might be behind closed doors. It means it has an effect on the players. It means they can't get home advantage as they would normally. So I think it will have a huge impact on British basketball.
So as we can see, British basketball has definitely become a lot more popular since it began 34 years ago. A lot more funding and sponsorship has went into it to make it a lot more popular. Also, the use of social media has made it a lot more popular, with people like Chris and all the BBL players promoting the sport. I definitely think the sport is growing, but with everything going on right now, with this global pandemic, nobody really knows what the future of British basketball will look like.